You should cop.
Mike.
You're gonna be under arrest. Okay, it's not a joke. Okay, that's why we're geared up. Okay.
Officers are meant to be the ones helping people, saving them from things like predators. Yet these 5 cases will show that it's officers who can be just as predatory. An officer was arrested before his shift even began because he had a warrant out for his arrest. According to a criminal complaint, he severely beat his girlfriend, leaving several gashes on her head and face. Some of the altercation was actually caught on camera.
We have a warrant for your arrest. We're going to be giving you a copy of that here shortly. Okay. Just going to get squared away here.
Come up the sleeve. Yeah, we'll come up that sleeve. Just give me a thing, bend over just slightly at the waist. Okay. Hang on. I want to make sure you got no watch or anything in there. This side here. And then I'll get that.
Hi Jeffrey, I'm Detective Hatch. I'm here with this permit. I'm just going to give you a little bit of an explanation as to why we're here. Okay, so right now we do have a warrant for your arrest. It's for aggravated battery against a household member. 2 counts of that, kidnapping and interference with communication. Okay, so those are the charges that are pending right now. I do want to give you the opportunity to talk to us and tell us your side of the story. Do you want to take that opportunity?
Not after hearing that. No.
Okay. All right, then we'll get you down to SCIC, and they'll take you down, so patrol officers will know who's taking them.
Sergeant and Corporal.
All right. Thank you, Jeffrey. Do you want us to come out this door?
The officers making the arrest were sure to search the man and make it clear that he was being detained for all to see.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, he didn't have it on him.
Right.
So it might be in the vehicle. We don't know. His yes. Camera swabs. All okay. Got it. Okay.
I don't even know why I didn't want to charge.
Got it. Yes. We got.
Janie's printing it.
I got it.
I just had them call so they can inventory the gear, or if they need to look at it. Ria wants to look into the cursory, but they need to come back tomorrow and do a pretty thorough search. Earl said they're quick.
Quick question. There's a rifle, a beanbag, and possibly it looks like maybe a secondary pistol in there. We would like to secure those. However, if you need us to leave those, we will do so.
You know what? Because they are weapons, we will secure them. We're not going to leave a vehicle that has access to the public, or they could somebody get in here. So we can secure them, and if they need them, pistol.
I've got to look at. There's a case. I don't know what's in the case.
Yeah, there's just a case back there. It's probably the one to duty weapons. Pistols that are in the vehicle. If they find any.
We'll take a few of them now.
Not rifles, but pistols.
All right. Coming off recording. Yes, thank you.
The suspect was arrested and faced charges of kidnapping, aggravated battery against a household member, tampering with evidence, and negligent use of a deadly weapon. A woman approached the police and noted that while being searched, an officer performed inappropriate actions on her. She was taken into the station to give more details about the event.
Okay, so I was walking to the Dollar General on Lomas and Monroe. I had stopped before I got there. I stopped to smoke a cigarette, so I kind of sat on where you park the little curb for the cars. I was sitting on one of those parking things. I was smoking a cigarette and I was on my phone, and I seen a patrol car, kind of pass me, and I looked at the building I was sitting at. I've been arrested for being on, where businesses are closed, and I'm sitting on the property. So at that time, I was like, I looked back to see if the business was open. It wasn't. So I started to gather my things so I could leave the property, so I didn't, get harassed or whatever. Then I seen the patrol car turn around, and he started coming back towards me. His window was down, and he was turning in right as I was gonna walk across the street. I just was ignoring him, and he's like, "Hey, you want a cigarette?" And I was like, "Sure." So he pulled in, and he got out of his car. He went around to the passenger side, got a pack of cigarettes and a torch lighter, gave me the cigarette, and then he lit my cigarette for me. And he said, "You look familiar. Have I arrested you before?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think so." He's like, "That's strange. You have, I know faces." And I was just like, "So do I, and you've never arrested me before." And so then he was just making small talk. He said he was bored, that it was a slow night, and he was just bored if I would just talk to him for a little bit. And so I agreed to. I knew I didn't have any warrants or anything. I wasn't worried about anything, so I just agreed to talk to him. I was kind of like questioning where he knew me from too, so I had asked him if he worked around Cole and Yale, which is where I was staying recently, and he said yeah, and I was like yeah, and he's like, "Oh, okay," and he's like, "You're friends with Kimberly?" And I said yeah. This officer had been to I guess calls made by the landlord this week, and also in April there was a shooting at the house across the street where I was staying before, and he was also the officer that was called to the week before the guy got shot. He was harassing everybody, and they kept calling the cops on him, so he was the officer that kept coming out, and that's where he knew my face from, I guess. Okay. So I was like, "Oh, okay," and he's like, "Oh yeah," and so we were just talking and stuff. As soon as I mentioned where I stayed, where we knew each other, he immediately asked me, "Do you have any booze on you?" And I said no. And he's like, "Oh, do you mind if I search you?" And I was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Do you have a probable cause?" I thought we were just talking, And he said, "No, I'm just asking if I can search you." And he's like, "So you're not gonna let me search you?" And I was like, "I don't feel that there's a reason to." And so we just kept talking. We sat there talking for a good minute, just about random stuff. And again, he had asked me if he could search me again. Or actually, no, he wanted to run my name, because I said, "Oh, I don't have no warrant or nothing." And he's like, "Do you mind if I check?" And I said, "Sure." I remembered I had a non-extraditable warrant out of Sandoval County, and so I was like, "Oh, I have one out of Sandoval County, but it's not extraditable." And he brought it up. He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Let me check the bail on that, the bond on that." And he told me it was $2,100. And we kept talking for a little bit, and then he asked to search me again, and I was just like, "Why?" And then he had made a statement like, "Oh, Kim lets me search her. I think she likes it though." And I was like, "I really doubt she lets you search her, and he's like, "She does, ask her." And I just shrugged it off. Then he said, "Look, I'm not going to look in your purse or anything. I'm just going to search your body." And he said, "I'll put your purse." He's like, "My lapel cam's off, so I'm going to put your purse on my hood of the car," which I gave him my purse. He put it on the car. and he asked me to put my hands on, you know, his police car, and I did. And he's like, "You spread your legs." I spread my legs. He began the search. Immediately, I felt uncomfortable. He was like, like when he would search, like he was just going way too high on my leg, under my butt, my pride, like, you know, when he would go in between my legs, he was touching, you know, my. He pulled my pants out and went on the, like, ran his 2 fingers on the inside of my underwear, like on top of my panties. I've been searched a lot. I've never been searched like that at all, ever. And then he proceeded to tell me he's going to search my, you know, my bra, which, you know, to my understanding, they're supposed to use the back of their hand and just go under. He did that a little, and then he was like leaning over and he pulled my like my bra out, so my exposed. And I immediately took my hands off the car and like put my, you know, my hands on my chest, and I was like, "Officer, I don't think you're supposed to be doing that." And he said, "Please put your hands on the back of the car," you know, and so I did. And so he went to the other breast, you know, and did the same thing. I had my money in there, and I did have a baggie on me that had like so like meth, but just like a few sprinkles, you know. It was just like an empty bag. And he's like, "Oh, you have a baggie?" And I said, "Well, it's empty." He said, "Well, it's enough to field test. I'm not going to arrest you though. Just, you know, make me a promise. If I'm not going to arrest you, my lapel cam's off. If it was on, I would have to arrest you." I said, "For that, there's nothing there, you know." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "But just whenever you see me out," he's like, "just be as nice to me then as you are to me now." I don't know what that. I guess me searching, letting him feel me. I don't know what he meant by that. I'm thinking that's what he meant. So then after he searched, I didn't like let him know anything that I was bothered or anything. I just said, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go to the store and I gotta get my cat's food, you know." And he said, "Okay." And he said, "Remember, you have to be nice to me next time. You know, every time you see me, you gotta be nice to me." And I said, "Okay." I went to the Dollar General, got my stuff, and then I walked home. My boyfriend then was like, I guess he had drove by and he had witnessed the cop searching me, because he was like, "What's up with that cop?" And he's like, why is he searching you?" And I just like kind of looked at him like, "What? You know, like, how do you know?" You know. And then I went back out and I said, I started to tell him what happened, and he said, "I know, dude." He said, "I drove by twice." He said, I drove by and he was with his friend Richie. He said, "I told Richie, hey, that officer's not supposed to be touching her like that." Like, he could see that, you know, he was doing wrong, you know. So then he immediately, I don't really want to pursue anything because I don't want any trouble out of this. I feel like I don't want, if nothing happens to him, like, I don't want him to come after me. Like, I feel like he would, you know, and he knows the area that I stay in, you know, so like, I just didn't want any trouble. Jessica, I can't look past this. Like, I have to call it in. He's like, "Do you trust me?" And I was like, "Yes." And he said, "Okay." And he's like, "We're going to protect you." And I said,
Initially, the officer was praised for helping to expose scammers who were preying on a vulnerable woman, but he's been accused of unlawfully searching one and groping her genitals. The victim claims that he allegedly made numerous inappropriate comments throughout the exchange, especially when a supposedly empty drug bag is found on her person.
The same clothes that you have on now?
No, I was going to say that also. I was in a sports bra, black sports bra, and then just regular jeans. So, you know, I was, you know, more provocative. You know, it was only right here, and then of course, you know, I guess that's why he, you know, so he was more able to, like, you know, because of this I can't pull it down, or, you know, he was able to just, you know, like, pull my shirt open. But yeah.
What color sports bra?
Black.
And he said the third time he asked to search, did you tell him okay, or what happened?
Yeah, he said, that's when he said he wasn't going to search my purse, he just wanted to search my body. And at that time I felt like, okay, I wasn't worried about anything, you know. I honestly forgot that baggie was even in there. It didn't have anything anyway, so I wasn't really worried about it. And he was a male officer, so I didn't feel like that he should, that I wouldn't even think that he would have opened my shirt like that to even see anything, you know, so I wasn't worried about anything. So I gave once he said he's not going to look at my purse, I just handed it to him and allowed the search, because I didn't feel like he was going to, like, give up until he got it.
Okay. To help me understand kind of the dynamics, how tall are you?
5'1".
And how tall was he?
He's about, maybe like 5'8".
Describe him for me.
He's native, a little bit heavyset. I think his name is Officer King. I think it was like an L before the King. I'm not sure exactly that part, but King for sure. And he said he had been on the force for 3.5 years.
Walk me through the search. So you're leaning up against the vehicle. Kind of walk me through where his hands are and where they're at.
Okay, he started, he asked me to spread my, he said put your hands on the car, I automatically like had spread my legs and put my hands on the car. Then he asked me to spread my legs more, and so I did. And then he ran them up and down my legs, but when he got to like my butt, he went underneath it. Like I could feel him like, touching underneath my butt, and then he went in the front, and his hands were like, touching my private parts on both sides of my legs.
Okay.
Then he proceeded to, I think my bra neck, my next, and the back, and then he went to my. That's when he exposed my. I mean, when I looked down, like I could see my, like and so he could too, because he was like right here, and that's when I was like. And then afterwards, then he asked me to like lift my hair, so I lifted my hair, and he said okay, and then it was over. Well, that's when he went to this, or before the hair, he went to this and discovered the baggie, and then I think he wanted me to think he was doing me a favor, by not arresting me, but I knew what he was doing was not right. He seen me as an addict. He knew. As soon as he knew where I had been staying previously, he was automatically like, do you have blues on you? And he knew that I was an addict because the house that I stayed in, and I feel like he just, singled me out and knew that he could do whatever he wanted, and either nobody's going to believe me or I wasn't going to say nothing. And I probably wouldn't have said nothing, but my boyfriend, made the call, and that's okay.
How long do you think the interaction was?
About 45 minutes. It wasn't long. Yeah, it was. He said he was bored. He was bored. It was a slow night, and so he just. He had actually had a call to the. He told me to the Dollar General, and that's why he was there, because I did actually see him go into that parking lot first, and I guess that somebody had ran out with some stuff, and they didn't want to pursue it, so he just made contact with them, and then left right away. I'm so sorry.
No,
I don't want to leave this out. Okay, so at one point during our conversation, I don't know what brought it to this, but he started making a comment about him not being able to have a relationship with people that he's detained or arrested. But he said, and I said, well, how would they, I'm just like making conversation, like, how would they even know? I mean, do they scan all your girlfriends or what? Like, how would they know? And he said, well, look, I don't want to, I don't know how to say this without sounding, whatever. He said, if we were just, if me and you were just, they wouldn't even know, but if you were my girlfriend, yeah, they might look at you and, stereotype you, and then they would look into it, That's what he said. But if we were just, nobody would know.
Did he go on and make any other statements similar to that?
No, not really. That was just all he said about that.
And if you don't remember, that's more than fine. It's understandable. Do you remember whether or not he had used his phone or his police radio?
No.
Or anything during the time he was with you?
None. I heard nothing. He used a computer to look me up, and then, but I didn't hear any radio at all or anything going on. And usually you do hear that when but there was nothing. There was none at all. And like when he opened my bra and exposed my, like that. I keep replaying it in my mind, and I'm like, that's what he was going for the whole time, was just be touching me. He didn't care about what was in my purse. He specifically said, I'm not going to search your purse. Like, I just want to search your body. So his intentions, everything he was doing, like, I feel like I'm not the first person, because he was doing it, precisely to get to that point where he could, maybe he thought if I had a warrant, he could search me still, you know, like he would get to search me. Because I was saying no at first. I was like, no, like there's no reason to. I'm not doing anything wrong. Right. And by the end of the search, like I was like I feel violated, you know, like I know him running his 2 fingers inside my panty line, like the top of my panties, like wasn't like not right. I've never had that happen. The cops do not do that. He's a male officer. He should never search me anyways, but I have been searched by male officers, and I do believe that it is legal as long as they do it right, you know, and I've never had it happen to where they didn't do it right, so I didn't really, at the end, I knew he wasn't going to stop until he got his stupid search, so I like I said, I had nothing to worry about, I thought, so, you know, I just let him.
Okay.
I didn't know he was going to do all that, but,
How did your guys' interaction end?
So after he had searched me and stuff and informed me, like, you know, he was a nice guy, he wasn't going to send me to jail, blah, blah, blah. But he could, you know, just so I know, he could. But he wasn't going to. I'm like, okay, well, he said, I better get to the dollar store because I got to go get my cat food. You know, they're hungry, I need to feed them. And he was like, okay. And then he got in his car and
The victim gave numerous details about the event, and after her story was heard, officers went to talk to the predatory cop.
Here today is because of an allegation that was made against you, reference an incident last 6 p.m. at the Dollar General store. Okay. What we have here is we have an actual victim that has alleged that there was a contact that was made. At this time, we would love to hear your side of the story and figure out what actually took place. You have the right to an attorney. You have the right to an attorney. Miranda will be read. Starting yesterday with the Dollar General call for service, tell me about the rest of your evening.
So I cleared the call for service, and I began driving, I want to say, south on Monroe. And I seen a female sitting on the curb, on the southwest side of the church, I think it is. I called out with an on-site and I turned around, and I parked and I was like, it was a consensual encounter. I got out and I asked her if she wanted a cigarette. She said yes, and we started talking. I recognized her, and obviously I see a lot of people every day. I thought she might have been somebody with a possible warrant. So like I said, it was just a consensual encounter. I began talking to her. She was acting very fidgety, and as I was talking with her, she brought up a female that I've encountered prior named Kimberly, just a previous call for service, and she said Kimberly calls me her boyfriend or whatever. I'm really not sure why. And I asked if I could search her. She said yes. And as I was searching her, I did the regular searches as they taught us in the academy. The left side first, search the legs, search the breast area with the back of my hand, and as I was doing that, I seen money in a bag inside her bra, and I was like, "What is that?" And she's like, "Oh," and she pulled it out, and it didn't look like anything at all. I just kind of told her like, "Hey, like this is enough to arrest you on." I was lying at the time, just to try to get some information about her from possible sellers in the area. I asked her if I could continue searching. She said yes. I went to the other side. I used the back of my hand and went along her bra line, and I kind of peeked over to see if she had any other narcotics in her bra line. And I went along to pull the top of the bra line from the front, and then pulled it back, so that way I can just to see if I can glance to see a little more if she had any other bags on her at all. And as I got done, I used my back of my hand, searched inside of her leg, and I told her I'll be using the back of my hand, search inside of your leg up to your thigh line, and I did that. And at that time, I believe I know what this is about. She said, "I don't think that's the way you're supposed to search," and I said, "I'm sorry." didn't mean to do that. And as I like backed away, I was kind of like backed up toward my car. And I looked down and I realized my OBRD was off. And instead of turning it on, I knew I was going to get an IA just for failure to activate my on-body recording device. So I told her like, hey, this is enough to arrest you on, which it wasn't. There was nothing in the bag. And I told her like, hey, I'll make you a deal. I won't arrest you. I won't arrest you as long as you, next time I see you, you know, be nice and give me some information about some possible sellers. And that was pretty much it. But I do kind of know what this is about, because she said, I don't think this is the way you're supposed to search people. But I didn't make any advances toward her at all. Nothing like that. I should have activated my own body recording device, but I didn't realize it in the time. I didn't touch anything under clothing. I didn't grasp anything over the clothing. I didn't intentionally try to touch anything. I used the back of my hand and I searched her bra line, and then I used both hands to pull the strap of the bra to possibly see if she was hiding any actual narcotics. And I didn't realize till after the fact that my camera was not recording, and I told her as long as she's nice to me next time and possibly gives me information, I won't arrest her, but I didn't have any criminal charges at that time.
The officer tries to make it seem like there's no serious intention with what had happened, but admitted that he didn't have his body cam on, which is against procedure.
And on the left side, like I said, when I was searching her, when I moved her bra line up, I seen money and then a bag. When I kind of went up like the way they taught us in the academy. And I did the same thing on the other side, and I couldn't see anything, so I used my hand, and this is the bra strap, and I went like this. I pulled forward and then back, like forward and then back. And I will be completely honest with you guys, I have nothing to hide, that her nipple did come out for a second, but I did not touch it. And she pulled both hands to grasp, and she said, I don't think this is the way you're supposed to search people. But I did not touch her breast. I used the back of my hand, that's the closest I ever got to touching her breast, was with the back of my hand, searching her bra line. I did not intend to show her nipple. I did not reach inside her bra at all to try to cup her breasts. I did not perform any criminal sexual contact at all on her, and I should have turned on my camera, but I didn't realize it until after.
Going back to your search, tell me more about the search of her lower extremities.
So after I told her I'll use the back of my hand to search the inside of your leg. So I used the back of my hand, and I went up to where her I guess her thigh line right here. I don't search them correctly, and I've missed, like a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, I missed 53 fentanyl pills on a male. He had it stuffed inside his crotch. So since then I've tried to search people a little better, and I went up to the back of her leg. I did not, up to in here, I went through and I pulled back. That's okay. On both sides I did that.
Okay.
And if you're asking if I touched her vagina at all, I don't think I did. Like I said, I did not touch her vagina. I went up, with the back of my hand, searched the inside of her leg in a backwards motion. I did not use the front of my hand. I used the back of my hand like the way they taught us in the academy.
Okay. And did you search any other parts of her body?
Yes, I searched her belt line.
Okay.
I pulled her belt line and I pulled it around just to see if there was any strings holding on to her belt loops at all. But I did not reach inside her pants at all. I didn't do any of that. I simply used my 2 fingers and pulled around her pants.
Okay. So, you stated earlier in your statement that you knew her of another person?
I thought I knew her.
Okay. Tell me more about that.
So I thought I knew her. Just like I said, seeing a lot of people around the city, and I recognize a lot of people that I arrest, and I thought I knew her through there. But after she gave me her name and all that, I didn't find any reports that I've written on her.
Tell me more about gave her name. How did you find out her name?
I just asked her. I was like, "Hey, do you possibly have any warrants?" And she said no. And then I told her she wasn't in trouble. She wasn't detained. Like I said, I made sure she realized it was a consensual encounter. And I was very lax with her. I just asked, like, "Do you want me to check?" And she said yes. So I got into my car and she just stood there. Like I said, I didn't put her in any position of disadvantage or anything like that. And I just ran her.
Where was she standing?
She was, I was sitting in my car, door was open, and she was about standing where that guy is.
Okay. And what was her mannerism?
She was just standing, smoking a cigarette.
Okay. The cigarette you provided?
Yes.
Okay. And was there any warrants out for her?
Yes, but it was non-extraditable.
Do you recall where from?
Sandoval County, I believe.
Do you know what it was for?
No, I don't know.
Okay. So what happened?
Oh.
Go ahead.
Possession, I believe, of paraphernalia.
So what happened? So she's standing right here. You get the actual call back or the information back. She has a warrant, but you can't do anything.
Yeah.
Where do we go from there?
I mean, I just thought I'd get her permission to search and see if she had any narcotics on her.
Okay.
The suspect tries to frame things as though he were just doing his job and intentionally denies things that would put him in more trouble, like touching the victim in inappropriate places.
As far as that process.
So I've done this quite a bit. I mean, I'll talk to people as a consensual encounter and just see if they have new warrants, if they're willing to, without being forced to, give me their identification. And when they don't have any warrants, I just try to see if I can talk my way into a consensual search, like a consent to search, just to see if they have any other narcotics on them. I've had pretty good success with it.
And when you finally was able to get the search for the blues, what happened?
Just like I told you in the beginning, I explained to you how I searched.
Tell me where she was.
She standing toward my vehicle, and I didn't grab her hands at all. She placed them up on the vehicle. And she's like, "Is this good?" I just said, "Yeah." So really quick, I just want to ask, what criminal offense am I looking at?
At this time you're being investigated for criminal sexual contact, which is a felony, and false imprisonment.
Okay.
Okay, so what we have here is we're trying to understand the purpose of the stop and the legal aspect of why we conducted a search. Can you help me to understand where the legal concept comes from to conduct a search?
So, like I said, it was a consensual encounter.
Okay.
I made sure not to put her in a position of disadvantage. That way she would feel like she is being detained at all. And I explained to her that she's not in any trouble and she's not being detained at all. It's just bored looking around the area. And I made sure for her to feel like she wasn't being detained. And I'll explain that a little bit.
You saw the look of confusion. Thank you.
I got out of my vehicle. I asked her if she wanted a cigarette. I guess she was walking away. She said yes. And I got out of my car and I told her, like, "You're not being detained at all. I'm just bored. It's a hot day. And I just wanted to come talk to you for a minute. And I didn't place her in handcuffs at all. I didn't sit her down on the curb so that way she feel like she could not leave. Like I said, it was just a simple consensual encounter, and I never told her she was detained at all. And I tried to make her feel like she wasn't being detained. I didn't put her in a spot where she feels like she couldn't leave if she wanted to, I feel.
Okay, an inch. So,
Yeah, just to see if, because like I said, when I pushed up on this side to go search the bra line, the piece of the bag poked up from her bra.
And the baggie. And what did you do with the baggie?
I threw it away. There was really nothing in it. I threw it away at the canine pumps.
Okay.
But I didn't see anything in it at all. I just told her, like, hey, this is enough to test. This is enough to arrest. And she was like, just that little bit? And I said, yeah, like I was lying, just so that way I can see if she can possibly, give me like some information on dealers or whatever. But I didn't have any criminal charges on her at all.
And pulling the top part of the bra, was that part of the trainings that you received?
No. Okay. I don't believe so, no.
Exposing the breasts,
so
is that?
No. The only reason why I did that, I didn't mean to expose the breasts. I did that to see if I can possibly locate like a piece of baggie, because she had the baggie in the left breast side of this, and I just wanted to see if I can possibly see another bag.
So, listening to your side, I mean, at this point, I'm thinking if I was you, okay, that went a little bit further than I intended. That's not what I kind of intended for it to happen. She makes a comment that you said that's not how a search.
She said that's not how. She said, I don't think that's how a search is supposed to be, and I apologize. I said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
Okay. And how does she take that?
She laughs, and she laughs, and then I just told her, like, hey, what did I tell her? She laughs, and then I backed away. I went to like the front of my car. She was still standing in the same spot, and I just told her, like, like, this is enough to arrest you on, like, and I want you to know that that this is enough to arrest you on, and I'm choosing not to arrest you. I just want you to, like, who's selling.
The officer was charged with false imprisonment, demanding a bribe, ethics violations, and criminal sexual contact. A 68-year-old former officer and civil employee was approached by police after being accused of inappropriate relations with a 14-year-old girl.
What you doing, Tim? Hey, just listen to me, okay? You're gonna be under arrest, okay? It's not a joke, okay? That's why we're geared up, okay? We know you got a gun. I'd love to talk to you. I'm gonna explain everything to you, but we gotta take care of this right now, okay?
What's up?
So I'm gonna tell you, but we're gonna deal with this stuff right here, okay? All right.
Yeah.
Is it on a belt, like through the loop, so we can just take off your belt and it'll come with it?
Take the gun out.
Okay, that's fine too.
An anonymous letter was the source of the accusation, and it went deep into details about the inappropriate nature of what the officer had been doing.
Like I said, you're being arrested, okay? Basically, long story short, the charge is basically having communication with a minor. That's what this is about, okay? Obviously, you know the process. I'm not going to change anything up just because of who you are, but obviously we've known each other for a long time, so it's not going to be comfortable for either of us, I wouldn't assume. Being under arrest, though, I got to read your rights.
Sure.
At the end of that, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I know you know it. I just got to do it. Okay. Okay. So probably a couple weeks ago, I got the letter. There was a letter sent to the chief's office. Okay, and it had information related to an inappropriate relationship with a 14-year-old.
Texting.
And so, obviously our job, the letter had some information in it that pretty much directed it to you.
Right, yeah.
Based on circumstances, the letter, what the information in the letter, everything, we could rule out everybody but you, based on the information in the letter, how it was worded, how it was written, and so forth.
Yeah.
And so we started working on the case, and we were able to gather some information.
How long ago?
This would have been last summer, so it's been a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
And so, one, I would ask you, do you know what we're talking about when we talk about?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So tell us what are we doing? Why would somebody be writing this letter?
Was it my sister?
Could have been.
Miller, Sherry Miller?
Could have been.
Or it was Jim Morches, one of the two.
And who? Sherry is?
My sister.
Okay. And Jim?
Is he's the father of.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so that's what the deal is. I will tell you, we've talked to a lot of people, and that's why we're kind of here today.
This is totally a surprise to me.
I believe you.
Yeah, I mean.
I believe you.
It's crazy.
But why would we get this information? Why would we get this letter? Why are there concerns valid?
Here's where I'm at right now. If I tell you my story without incriminating me, am I going to walk out here today?
Well, you've been arrested.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
So I have to be booked in and all that other stuff. Yeah. So why should I carry on? Maybe I should just get an attorney. Is it going to help me to talk to you?
So here's what, obviously my job, and I've been doing it a long time.
So there's nothing been filed with the DA yet? Okay, all right.
And so obviously my job is obviously to grab as much information as possible and present it to the people that make the ultimate decision of whether formal charges would be filed.
Right, but regardless of what is done here today, I will end up in jail. So I don't know why I should talk to you without an attorney.
It's up to you.
I don't see that would help me any.
And it's your world, right?
Well, I understand that, but
it's your decisions, what you think is best, what's not best. If you think this is not right, if it's not accurate,
it's not.
It's curious to me why people are gunning for you with this type of information, that's all. And that is a decision you have to make based on whether or not you think it's important for me to know at this point in time.
I just don't know why we talked and she understood the situation and she just was off. My sister, I guess I just really her off.
Well, we're talking, 7 months later?
I know. So she reported this 7 months ago.
I just got the information, the week before last?
So, where did you get the information?
A letter came to the chief's office.
From?
From an anonymous.
Just recently?
Wow. Mid-March. So yeah, based on what we know, we're talking August, September of last year.
The suspect refused to fully admit what had happened and even questioned whether or not the letter was legit and who had sent it.
Have you read any text? Have you seen any of the text that was written?
Well,
back and forth?
Is that going to help you?
I think it will. Yeah.
Between you?
Yeah.
Well, we've talked.
And she lied, probably. Made something up.
Why would she lie?
I don't know. But why am I here?
Well, because of the information that came out so far.
Well, what came out is not probably accurate. But I don't know that I need to talk to you guys anymore.
That's okay.
Yeah. All right, let's do what we need to do. I'll post bail and hopefully post bail and go home.
Yeah. what do you have in your pockets? I just soon put everything up here, and then we'll go down. This is your phone. Is this a department issue? Or
No, that's mine.
We're gonna take that, okay? The thing about that, you want to give us consent to look in your phone? Okay, we're gonna get a search warrant. It's okay, we totally get it now. I'm not saying anything negative towards you. I mean, you have your rights, and we're gonna do things by the book, but we're gonna get a search warrant for your phone, and then we'll just keep trying to gather information. We're keeping an open mind on everything, but obviously the information we gathered thus far is enough to.
Ruin my life.
You're not telling us anything we haven't talked about a million times. Like I said, this is
And I'm retiring in 18 days. And there's a possibility I could lose my retirement.
And although we hear you, that ultimately isn't what we base our decisions on. It's the information we gather. So, like I said, you want to talk to a lawyer, I'm going to tell you this. When you get out, you get a lawyer, and you think it's beneficial to come back and talk.
For sure.
Come back and
I'll talk to the attorney first.
Yeah, and then come back and talk to me. Again, you know, doing this work, and I've been doing it a long time, the more information I have, the better decisions we make. And so, without saying anything else, we've already done that, but I just want you to know.
I really do want to tell you. It's my story or what happened, but I'm not sure that that's going to benefit me right now.
And it may not.
Yeah, because I'm still.
I don't know what that is.
I'm still going to get booked in.
Yeah. But that's why I open it up. After this process, if you think that's important to you and you need counsel here, more power to you, Tim. I swear to goodness, that's fine. It's not intimidating to me, right? And let's sit down and visit about it, you know, because I've still got some time. We've still got some work to do, and we're going to try to do the best we can. That's all. I just want you to understand that. And part of visiting with you is part of that. So definitely keep it open. Talk to your attorney. Holler at me, and we can visit. Like today, we're going to be, to be honest with you, as discreet as possible. Okay.
Can I bond out from here?
I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know. I almost want to say no, but.
Well, we've done that before. It's been years.
On misdemeanor stuff, yeah, it's.
Well,
because this is the felony charge. So, you want to take off, will your pants up without your belt?
Yep.
Okay, and we'll just put your belt up here. You don't have anything else on the outside of that? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, my life is pretty much over here.
Well, you're being arrested and you're not convicted.
Well, I understand that, and I don't see that I'm going to get convicted.
And that's.
But it's the embarrassment.
Well.
And,
like I said, it's tough for all of us. Tough for all of us. I'm gonna let you keep your bracelet on, keep your ring on. Nothing else in your pockets, everything else. We're just gonna leave this here. We'll go down. All this will be your property. I think, I don't know administratively, the fobs and things like that. I don't know. Major Minor may snag those if you don't end up having your fobs to the station, things like that. Where is your fob? Or what?
The officer gets frustrated and asks for his attorney in order to get the police to back down.
She's aware of every bit of this. Okay. What my sister is, what she's accused me of, yeah.
Okay. Do you want us to give, does she need those keys of the car? Or?
Well, yeah, well, she's got keys, but yes.
Well, we can get them out if we get to that point.
We only have one car.
Okay.
So.
That's what I was meaning.
Yeah.
Is like if you drove it here.
Yes.
And she doesn't have a car.
Yes.
Where she's at.
Yes.
Where's she at now?
We're living in Twin Fountain RV Resort on 63rd.
Okay.
By the soccer fields over there?
There are some there, yeah.
That was the big energy practice fields or something. Okay. Okay. Any questions before we get out of here?
No, I just, get through the process so I can.
I'm gonna give you my card, that'll have my number on it, just in case,
Am I gonna have to run out the county?
I'm gonna find out for you. I'll find out for you.
Yeah.
And let you know.
Please. I know that, I'm pretty sure that we've done this before. A lot of people out here, certain people like myself, so they wouldn't have to go to the county.
I'll check.
Okay.
All right, we'll leave this stuff here, and we're just gonna walk down what we'll do is go to this,
So you're gonna keep all this?
this stuff will be in your property. I don't know if we can keep that, I'll have to find out on this.
Well, that's fine.
The former officer would be arrested for facilitating, encouraging, offering, or soliciting sexual conduct or engaging in sexual communication with a minor. A suspect is on his way to the pharmacy to collect a prescription refill, and after arriving at the pharmacy, thinking that it was closed, he walked up to a driver of a car to speak with him. But the driver began beeping his horn and called the police because he felt threatened. It would later be found out that the man in question suffered from bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, PTSD, and ADHD. The police were then called to arrive and excessive force was used.
Right here, you, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. You're being detained.
What's going on?
Listen, why didn't you stop when I asked you to? No, you didn't stop. Hands in the car. Hands in the car. Spread your feet. Spread your feet. Stand in the car, please. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. You're gonna get tased. Stop. Roll over on your stomach. On your stomach. On your stomach. On your stomach. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Stop resisting. Oh God. I swear to God. Oh God. Back it up. Get your hand.
The officer making the arrest did not ask any questions or offer explanations as to why the man was being detained. When the suspect resists because he doesn't understand what's going on, the officer pulls out a taser.
Stop resisting! Put your hands behind your back! Hands behind your back! Taser, taser, taser!
Roll over on your stomach!
Get on your stomach!
On your stomach! On your stomach!
I got legs.
Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Stop resisting!
Stop resisting!
Oh God! Oh God, I want to help out. Stop resisting! Knock it off! Give me your hand!
So we got cuffs.
I got it. Stop resisting! Stop resisting!
Cuff it.
Stop resisting!
Cuff it. Stop resisting!
Stop resisting! Knock it off! Give me your hand!
So we got cuffs.
Right here. I got him. I got him. Hurt, Mike?
Yep.
Nose might be broke.
There you go. All right.
Got better days.
We're trying to get one in custody. Send a squad. You all right?
Yeah, nose is bleeding.
I'm trying to stop it.
11, can you advise of your exact location, please, during Park Heights?
Yeah.
Yeah. Officer, Okay.
What happened? He hit you? Alright. You're bleeding down there too.
You want oh, shut up.
Mike, look at me for a minute. Let me just get this while this.
Radio.
Let me see.
Where's the complainant to call?
I don't think I'm hurt my hand. Well, let me just.
He was in the area still. I told him if we needed him, we'd give him a call. He was kind of scared. You want me to have him come back?
You should cops.
Mike.
God.
Step away.
What's your name?
My name, can't tell you. Boy.
You got anything sharp or dangerous with you, Kenya?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
But doesn't hurt me like that.
I don't know what happened. Oh, yeah? Okay, Lamar, you done fighting with us?
During the struggle, one of the officers can be seen repeatedly punching the suspect, and after he's eventually placed in handcuffs, an officer taunts him by calling him names.
Come over here, Lamar.
I hope y'all had fun tonight.
What's that?
I hope y'all had fun tonight.
No, we did not
Nah.
have fun. Hold on.
This isn't our idea of fun.
Confused the out of me. I was like, what the?
Open your leg.
Mm-hmm. Do me like that out of nowhere. Was that fair?
All you had to do was stop and talk to us and none of this would have happened.
You didn't ask me to talk.
I wasn't even here.
Right. You weren't here.
Right.
The man would be charged with felonious assault on a police officer, resisting arrest, and disorderly conduct. The case against him was officially dismissed, and an excessive force lawsuit was filed against the department. An officer pulls over a woman in her car during a routine traffic stop. He then removes his body microphone, rendering the exchange inaudible, and asks the motorist why she's speeding. She replied that she had just left a job interview, and so far that's fine. But then he began to speak inappropriately to the woman, and later on the officer was interviewed about this exchange where he tried to explain his side of things.
I pulled her over for going 45 in a 35 zone. Once I conducted the traffic stop, I approached her, identified myself, and explained the reason why I pulled her over. I asked her, is there a reason why she was speeding? And she informed me that she had just left an interview from a massage shoot. I did state that I work all day. I can do a good massage. Do you guys give any law enforcement specials? When I say specials, I was referring to discounts. I don't remember at what point in time I turned off my video from my car. And then that's when I went back to issue her information.
Okay. Have you ever met prior to that traffic stop?
No, sir.
Okay. Why would you initiate a conversation about wanting a massage from?
The only reason I initiated that, I did indeed engage in the conversation. The only thing my intentions were looking for is a discount. I said law enforcement specials, and I don't think her audio captured that.
How did you know it was a massage therapist?
As I put her over, she stated that, and that's when I made the statement as in the beginning, which the audio did not capture, where I asked her, is there a reason why she's speeding? She gave me that information and said she's coming from a massage. I then said, Oh, I can do a good massage. I work all the time. I work on something related to that. I work all the time. I can do a good massage. And I said, do you guys give law enforcement specials?
Do you think having a conversation about having her perform a massage on a later date would be appropriate behavior for a trooper to make during a traffic stop?
Well, I wasn't at that point. I was looking for a discount. I wasn't looking in that situation as a massage. But to answer your question, I wasn't thinking about it. I was only looking for a discount at that time.
And you didn't think that was inappropriate to talk about during a traffic stop?
I made sure not to ask that during a traffic stop. I was trying to de-escalate the situation, make light of the situation. I made sure not have asked that on the traffic stop.
You want to repeat yourself because there's a little confusion on what you're saying. And I asked you, do you think that's inappropriate to talk about massage, having a massage during
a traffic stop? No, sir.
Are you saying that it's inappropriate?
Yeah. Were you saying like inappropriate as far as a massage, asking for a massage?
Right.
On a traffic stop?
Yeah.
Yes, on a traffic stop.
Yeah. When I'm asking you, don't you think that's inappropriate?
Yes, sir.
Okay. According to your comments about asking her if she would perform other types of massages was sexual in nature and inappropriate, and that's what her complaint is about.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We're going to listen to this audio, and maybe you can actually dissect the information. And let's start off with this.
It turns out that the woman was actually recording the altercation between the two, and that's what the officers played back for him.
Don't worry about it. If you don't got him.
It's just taking a while.
Now, can you tell me, is that your voice on that recording?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that was during the traffic stop on October 7th and you, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We're going to listen further.
Here's your pretty license back.
Thanks.
Isn't that pretty?
And I'm going to ask you there, what do you mean by pretty license? What were you trying to explain to her about her license? Is there a reason why you were saying pretty license?
I was basically de-escalating the situation, and I just said, here's your pretty license back. I said, isn't that pretty?
Yeah, and what do you
as part as the, like I said, in the beginning, when I said law enforcement specials, where the video did not capture, I can't remember what she said, and I went back to my car. And
you said you were trying to make light of the situation. Is that what you're trying to say? Or because I didn't understand why you would say pretty license.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You didn't answer the question about pretty. Is there a reason why you would keep saying pretty license? What are you referring to when you say pretty license?
I was just giving a compliment, saying, "Here's your pretty license, nice picture."
Oh, is that what you're saying? Nice picture?
That's basically what I was saying. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I guess, yeah, you're right. Oh God.
Perfect. So when can I come and get a massage?
You're talking about the spa?
Huh?
Are you talking about the spa?
Do I have to come to the spa?
And what do you mean by if you had to come to the spa? Is there a reason why you were asking that question?
Right. And I do get massages.
Okay.
And I only stop because COVID. In that room, where they have rooms, they have where massage machines are in training, and it's like in a community, big open area. And due to COVID, they have other rooms where it's private. And that's what I meant as private. when I said you'll have to come to the spa, which means that they have other areas where they can block it off, and it's a private massage.
Yeah. Why?
Because that's where I work.
Oh, could have given me no massage.
Are you trying to set me up?
No, actually I'm not.
More comfortable working at the spa.
No, I'm not. Well, no, I'm not trying to set you up. Actually, I mean,
so
I know you get nervous, but I mean, no.
No, good. I'm not one of those.
No?
I'm not one of those.
You're not well.
I don't know. Are you like insinuating? Do you want something else? I don't do that. Sorry. I don't do that.
I'm not saying that you do that.
Okay, so what are you asking?
Huh?
What are you asking?
Which one do you work at?
The information you were providing her, don't you think that was inappropriate for you to ask? And you never came out with an answer when she asked you about what kind of massage you were asking about? Is there a reason why you're talking to her about massages during a traffic stop?
Again, I was only at that point asking for a discount. The video, what she provided, it does not capture in the beginning.
Why would you be asking for a discount? Why not use the word discount? At no time during this recording, you never asked for a discount.
Yes, sir.
You never used that terminology.
Yes, sir. At that time of her recording, I felt that she basically set me up for when she started recording. Prior to that, I was only asking for a law enforcement special as far as a discount.
Okay, you never mentioned that anywhere in this audio recording.
That recording.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes, sir.
You never asked for a discount?
No, sir.
And never mentioned a law enforcement discount?
No, sir, not in that recording.
And why would she want to set you up?
I'm saying I don't know why she would want to do that, but I'm saying what I felt, because in the beginning, that's what brought about this whole thing. I said law enforcement special. I was only seeking a discount.
But you never mentioned that during any of this recording?
Not part of her recording. Yes, sir.
The one over here is called Essentials Deluxe Day Spa or something.
I do enjoy the other ones.
And what do you mean that you enjoy the other type of massages?
They have a regular massage, where it's the normal, and they also have the deep tissue, where you can. Deep tissue is like $900. The other one is like $59, where you can basically, some of them, if you're law enforcement, you can get the regular or the deep tissue, and then after that they give you where you have the relaxation.
Why don't you mention that during this recording, that you're asking for something like that? Because nowhere in this recording you're asking for a deep tissue or whatever you just explained. You never mentioned that.
Yes, sir.
Is there a reason why?
I don't have a...
You're explaining it to me now what it is, but yes, you never explained it to her during the recording. Is there a reason?
Well, that's hers. I don't remember in the beginning where before she started recording. I don't want to say that I did, because I don't want to lie. So I don't want to say that I did explain that or say exactly that to her. I can't recall if I said that. I can't.
As the recording played on, the officer found himself blabbering as he tried to think up of good excuses for what he had said.
Oh, yeah, they probably do that like down there, don't they?
No?
Don't they do that like in South Tampa somewhere?
Where? I'm gonna go to South Tampa then.
What do you mean by going to South Tampa? And she's mentioning the other type of massage. You said you would go to the other massage place in South Tampa? What do you mean by that?
I didn't know what she was meaning when she said South Tampa, to be honest. What they do at that point, I was just entertaining her. And I just said, I
want that one.
Yeah.
And when she explains that in South Tampa they do the other type of massages, and you said you want that one.
Yes, sir.
What do you mean by that?
I was just entertaining her. I mean, she was saying South Tampa, what they're there, and I want that one.
Do you think that's appropriate to say during a traffic stop about massages? Let's be honest here. You think that's appropriate?
No, sir.
Okay. So why would you say something like that to somebody you just stopped on a traffic stop?
When she made that statement, sir, to be honest, I was just entertaining her, which I should not have done. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it does not capture the beginning. She got it, and at that point, I'm going to be honest, I was just entertaining what she was saying.
You keep saying in the beginning. What was it? What was said in the beginning that wasn't captured?
When I initiated the traffic stop, because the whole purpose, what brought this up, was law enforcement. When I said I can do a good massage, and I said I work all day, and I initiated when I said law enforcement specials.
You're saying that she initiated that she does massages and that you needed one? Is that what you're saying?
She said that she do as a massagist.
Okay.
And here me, I've been working all day. I've been looking for one lately because I haven't been in a while. I said, you guys give law enforcement specials.
So that's the part you're saying that
brought this whole thing up.
The sketchy ones, I think you could point them out.
Police officers need the sketchy ones too.
Okay. What do you mean by when she mentioned sketchy and you said that you needed these sketchy type of massages?
Right. Again.
Let's be honest here. What do you mean?
Yes,
by
sir.
that?
Yes, sir. I'm being honest.
Okay.
When she said that, she said sketchy, and the same thing as far as when she said South Tampa. I said I'm going to South Tampa. She said sketchy. I said okay, sketchy. She said sketchy, and I was just entertaining her at that point.
And you know what sketchy? What was she meaning by sketchy?
I did not know what she meant by sketchy. I did not even know what she meant when she said South Tampa. I'm being honest. I was actually entertaining her at that point.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No, that's good. Okay. How long you been doing it though?
Almost 3 years.
3 years? See, but if I go to yours now, you're not gonna be one to massage me.
I mean, if you want a normal one.
But I think you're pretty though, man.
Oh, thank you. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna just do stuff.
Don't worry about it.
For what purpose to tell her twice that she was pretty? I don't understand. Why would you do that?
The first time, it was her license. The second time, it was unprofessional. I was entertaining her based on the conversation that she was already, that we had already gotten into. That I was just, entertaining her at that point. The first time I know why I said it, because I was given a license back, and I was like, oh, nice picture. Isn't that pretty? Second time, I just, you know.
Were you trying to gain something from her by saying that she was pretty twice? Were you trying to obtain something from her? Get her to do something?
I actually not, or were not, sir.
But you do admit you said it?
I do admit that I did, yes, sir.
Were you trying to compliment her?
I was giving her a compliment based on her picture the first time.
Right.
I was.
And the second time?
The second time, I was really just entertaining her at that point.
A scandalous bit of the recording comes out and the suspect struggles to defend himself.
All right, here you say that you had...
Regular ones?
Huh?
You're talking about regular?
I don't know if I should be saying that. I mean, I had both.
What do you mean by that? You're talking about having massages, and she's replying back to you. Are you talking about the regular one, or are you talking about maybe the sketchy ones? And in here you say you've had both. Why would you tell her that? Why would you explain to her that you had two types of sketchy type of massages?
Right. I had normal massage. I go quite often until COVID came, and when she was basically saying that regular ones or sketchy ones or whatever, and here I am, you know, felt for what she was saying. At this point, I was just entertaining her at this point. And I'm just throwing out that, you know, yeah, I had both, yeah. But, I mean, to be honest, I know that getting those other sketchy charges, I stay away from. I know it's illegal. I don't do that.
But even though you did mention that you had it done before.
They had it done before. I never did. I only go to the ones hands and stone.
Okay. Would there be a reason why you did tell her that you've had both?
Again, no, sir. To be quite honest, I was just basically entertaining her.
Okay. Now, when she mentioned sketchy and you mentioned sketchy, are we talking about sexual in nature?
I wasn't talking about sexual in nature. She said sketchy, and I was just entertaining her at that point. Again, I never even said anything even sexual related to her that I was looking for at that point. At that time, I'm sorry.
And you don't believe that you were saying it indirectly?
I wasn't saying it indirectly. Say it again, sir?
Indirectly? Well, you mentioned...
Oh, do I mean that I was saying it indirectly as far as I wanted sexual? No, sir. I knew what I was looking for in my heart in the beginning. Now, it was only cheaper price that I was looking for at that time in the beginning.
And once again, you never mentioned that during any of this recording. Am I correct?
Yes, in her part of her recording. Right. Yes, sir. Okay. Those statements.
Well, why would you entertain her? That's what I don't understand. Why would you entertain something like that? Something that's sexual in nature. Why would you do that?
I shouldn't have made those statements. I'm gonna be honest, or even entertain her at that point.
So you do agree that's very inappropriate?
I do agree that's very inappropriate what she has. I do.
Not what she has. It's inappropriate that you even engaged
engaged in.
Yeah, meaning that if she said it, then you went along with it.
I shouldn't engage in that conversation of what she's saying. I should not even entertain her. Yeah.
I mean, who would, you know?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Because those buildings are still around, so.
Huh?
I said I see those buildings are still around, so.
Yeah. There you go. It's all good. Any questions?
let's talk about when you first made the traffic stop and you walked up to her car. Was your body mic on? Your body wireless mic when you approached the vehicle?
Yes, sir, it was on.
Okay. Was there a reason why it wasn't actually picking up your conversation in the beginning?
Well, I wear my mic down here.
What do you mean down there?
On my belt.
Okay.
On my belt. And I thought it did pick up my conversation, did it?
It was very, very muffled.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have a...
And in other words, we couldn't really hear it at all?
Yes, sir. I don't have a mic on my uniform.
Okay.
So it was down on my belt.
So you believe your microphone was on at the time?
I believe that it was on, yes, sir.
Yeah, and according to the MVR, your video, it said that your mic was activated when you went to the car.
Yes, sir.
You went back once you. It looks like you got the driver's license from. You went back to the car, and you made a statement about. You said, "Shucks, that your mic was not charged." Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How did you know that your microphone, that your body mic wasn't charging?
It vibrated, if I recall correctly. It vibrated. That they gave me a signal that the battery was going dead. So what I did was I took it off and put it on charge at that time.
Okay.
I looked at it and it's like gave me that blanking signal, if I recall correctly.
Okay. Is there a reason why you wouldn't leave the mic on your body and let it completely die? If it's asking for a charge, you might as well go through the whole process, so you have at least your microphone showing that it's on.
I understand. I just put it on charge instead of letting it completely die.
That comes to my next question. So you put it on the charger. You know that little cradle that you put in really doesn't give you a good charge. You realize that, correct?
The one that we put on? No, sir. I didn't realize that. Okay. That it does not charge, you say?
Yeah, it charges, but it takes a long time to charge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Would there be a reason why you didn't actually, when the policy states that you should actually check to make sure that the mic has a full charge?
That was, I will admit, I keep my mic on my gun belt, and sometimes, most of the time, I will admit, when I get home, I forget to put it back on charge at the end of my shift, and it stays on my belt, and then sometimes my mic goes dead.
That brings me to the next question. When you went to that traffic stop, were you trying to withhold your conversation from having it recorded when you placed the mic in that little crater charger inside the car?
No, sir.
The officer continues to use every excuse that he can think of so that he can try and get away with what he had done.
Oh yeah, I don't know what to say.
Say what?
That seems to be normal for some guys, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, which one you done?
The normal ones?
Both?
Professional.
Professional?
Yes.
That's what you said, but professional?
Strictly.
Strictly professional?
Yes.
No, I'm just giving you a hard time. No, I only go to the professional one.
Okay.
The only one I go to is the, have you heard of the Hand and Stone?
That one? There's one right there.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I've been there for an interview, but I haven't got a massage from there.
Those are the ones I go to.
Oh.
Following an investigation into the incident, the officer would be fired from the department.